Hook. At the top of a Fortune 500 company, where power and prestige ruled, one CEO overheard a janitor effortlessly switch between 9 languages while cleaning the executive floor. What he did next didn't just change the janitor's life. It sent shockwaves through the entire office, leaving everyone questioning what they thought they knew about the people around them. In the heart of Chicago's financial district, Marcus Hargrove was the CEO of Pinnacle Solutions, a multinational consulting firm known for its high-stakes deals and elite clientele. At 42, Marcus had climbed the corporate ladder with a blend of sharp intellect and relentless ambition. His days were filled with board meetings, client negotiations, and strategic planning, leaving little room for anything or anyone outside his immediate circle of influence. The company's headquarters, a sleek 40-story building, was a testament to its success, with employees who prided themselves on their expertise and drive. But one evening, an unexpected encounter shifted Marcus's perspective in ways he never anticipated. It was just after 7 p.m. on a Thursday, and Marcus was working late, reviewing quarterly reports in his corner office. Most of the staff had gone home, leaving the building quiet except for the faint hum of the cleaning crew. Marcus barely noticed the janitors who moved through the office each evening, emptying trash cans and wiping down surfaces. They were part of the background, essential but invisible to the high-powered executives. That night, however, something caught his attention. As Marcus stepped out of his office to grab a coffee from the break room, he heard a voice coming from the hallway. It wasn't the usual chatter of employees or the drone of a vacuum cleaner. It was a man's voice, speaking in rapid, fluent Spanish, followed by a seamless switch to what sounded like Mandarin. Marcus paused, curious. He followed the sound and found a janitor, a man in his late 30s, speaking into a headset while mopping the floor. The janitor's name tag read Amir, and he was engrossed in a conversation that shifted effortlessly from Mandarin to French, then to Arabic, all within a few minutes. Marcus stood frozen, his coffee forgotten. Amir's voice was steady, his pronunciation flawless, as he responded to someone on the other end of the call. Marcus, who prided himself on his own bilingual skills in English and German, was stunned. He counted the languages as Amir continued: Portuguese, Russian, Italian, Swahili, and finally Japanese. 9 languages, spoken with the ease of a native speaker. Marcus had traveled the world, negotiated with global leaders, and met countless professionals, but he had never encountered someone like this, a janitor with such an extraordinary linguistic gift. Amir finished his call and removed his headset, unaware of Marcus watching from the doorway. Marcus cleared his throat, and Amir looked up, startled. "Sorry sir, didn't see you there," Amir said, his English accented but clear. He quickly resumed mopping, as if expecting to be dismissed. Marcus, however, couldn't let it go. "I overheard you speaking," he said. "How many languages do you know?" Amir hesitated, his expression guarded. "A few, sir. I pick them up here and there." 9. Marcus pressed, raising an eyebrow. "That's more than a few." Amir shrugged, clearly uncomfortable. I like learning them. Helps with life, you know." Marcus wasn't satisfied with the vague response. He asked Amir to join him in the break room, where they sat across from each other at a small table. Amir, still in his navy blue janitor's uniform, looked out of place in the polished corporate setting, but his demeanor was calm and composed. Over the next hour, Marcus learned Amir's story, a tale that was as humbling as it was astonishing. Amir Hassan was born in a small village in Somalia, where he grew up speaking Somali and Swahili. His father, a trader, exposed him to Arabic and Portuguese through business dealings. As a teenager, Amir's family fled conflict in Somalia, eventually resettling in a refugee camp in Kenya. There, he learned English from aid workers and picked up French from neighboring communities. His knack for languages became a survival tool, helping him navigate new environments and connect with people from different backgrounds. After immigrating to the United States in his 20s, Amir taught himself Mandarin, Russian, Italian, and Japanese through online courses, library books, and conversations with immigrants in his Chicago neighborhood. "Why are you working as a janitor?" Marcus asked, unable to hide his disbelief. With skills like that, you could be doing so much more. Amir's smile was tinged with resignation. I tried, sir. But no degree, no connections, no fancy resume. This job pays the bills, and I'm good at it. I don't mind. Marcus leaned back, his mind racing. He had built Pinnacle Solutions on the principle of recognizing talent, but here was a man whose abilities had gone unnoticed right under his nose. Amir wasn't just a polyglot. He was a problem solver, a self-learner, and someone who had overcome unimaginable challenges. Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was an opportunity, not just for Amir, but for the company. The next morning, Marcus called his executive team into a meeting. He didn't mention Amir by name but shared what he had witnessed. A janitor who spoke 9 languages fluently, a man whose talents were hidden behind a mop and a uniform. We're missing something, Marcus told his team. If someone like this is in our building, cleaning our offices, what other potential are we overlooking? We need to rethink how we find and develop talent. The executives were intrigued but skeptical. Pinnacle Solutions prided itself on hiring top-tier graduates from Ivy League schools, people with MBAs and polished resumes. A janitor, no matter how talented, didn't fit their mold. But Marcus was adamant. He instructed HR to create a new initiative, an internal talent discovery program aimed at identifying overlooked employees with unique skills. He also asked for Amir to be brought in for an interview, not for a cleaning job, but for a role that could leverage his linguistic abilities. Amir was hesitant when HR contacted him. He had worked at Pinnacle for 3 years, always keeping his head down, never expecting anything more than a steady paycheck. The idea of sitting in a corporate office, being interviewed by executives, felt surreal. But Marcus insisted, and Amir agreed to meet with the head of the international division, Sarah Lynn. During the interview, Sarah tested Amir's language skills, asking him to translate documents and hold mock negotiations in multiple languages. Amir didn't just meet expectations, he exceeded them. His ability to switch between languages was seamless, and his cultural knowledge, gained from years of interacting with diverse communities, gave him an edge that no textbook could teach. Sarah was impressed, but she had concerns. He has no formal education beyond high school, she told Marcus later. How do we justify bringing him into a client-facing role? Marcus didn't have all the answers, but he was determined to find a place for Amir. He proposed a new position, Cultural Liaison, a role that would involve translating, advising on cross-cultural communication, and supporting Pinnacle's global clients. It wasn't a standard job title, and it raised eyebrows among the leadership team. But Marcus's authority carried weight, and the role was created. Amir's transition wasn't easy. He started in the new role with a mix of excitement and self-doubt. The corporate world was unfamiliar territory, with its unwritten rules and high expectations. His first few weeks were a whirlwind of training, meetings, and adjusting to a suit instead of a janitor's uniform. Some employees whispered behind his back, questioning why a janitor had been given such a role. Others, however, were curious, even inspired. Amir's presence challenged the office's status quo, forcing people to confront their assumptions about who belonged in the boardroom. Marcus didn't stop with Amir. The talent discovery program gained traction, and HR began identifying other employees with hidden skills. A receptionist who had a knack for data analysis was moved into the analytics team. A security guard with a background in graphic design started contributing to marketing campaigns. The program wasn't perfect. It faced resistance from managers who preferred traditional hiring methods, but it began to shift the company's culture. Employees started talking about their passions and skills outside their job descriptions, creating a sense of possibility that hadn't existed before. Amir, meanwhile, thrived in his new role. He worked on a major deal with a Japanese client, using his language skills to bridge cultural gaps that had stalled negotiations. He advised the team on Arabic-speaking markets, drawing on his experiences in Somalia and Kenya to provide insights no consultant could match. Clients noticed the difference, praising Pinnacle for its ability to connect on a deeper level. Amir's contributions weren't just a feel-good story, they were good for business. Word of Amir's journey spread through the office, becoming a topic of conversation in break rooms and boardrooms alike. Employees who had never spoken to him before now stopped to ask about his languages or his story. Some were inspired to learn new skills themselves, signing up for language courses or technical training. Others began mentoring younger employees, sharing knowledge that might otherwise have stayed hidden. Marcus, too, was changed by the experience. He started spending more time walking the floors of the building, talking to employees at all levels. He realized that his focus on high-level strategy had blinded him to the wealth of talent right in front of him. He began hosting informal lunch and learn sessions, where employees could share their skills or experiences, from coding to cooking to storytelling. The sessions became a hit, fostering a sense of community that Pinnacle had lacked. But the story didn't end with feel-good moments. Amir's rise sparked tough conversations about privilege, opportunity, and systemic barriers. Some executives argued that the company's hiring practices were fine as they were, pointing to their track record of success. Others, including Sarah, began to question whether Pinnacle's reliance on credentials had caused them to miss out on talent like Amir's. The debate wasn't resolved overnight, but it planted seeds for change. Amir himself remained humble, never seeking the spotlight. He was grateful for the opportunity but didn't see himself as exceptional. "I just did what I had to do," he told a colleague who asked about his languages. "Anyone can learn if they're curious enough." His words stuck with people, reminding them that potential wasn't limited to a resume or a degree. Months later, at the company's annual gala, Marcus took the stage to deliver his keynote address. He spoke about innovation, resilience, and the power of seeing people for who they truly are. Then he invited Amir to join him. The room fell silent as Amir stepped forward, dressed in a tailored suit, his presence commanding respect. Marcus shared Amir's story, not as a charity case, but as a testament to what Pinnacle could achieve by embracing untapped potential. The audience erupted in applause, but Amir simply nodded, his expression one of quiet pride. The impact of that night rippled beyond the gala. Employees began to see their workplace differently, as a place where anyone could rise if given a chance. Pinnacle's clients, too, took notice, with some requesting Amir specifically for their projects. The company's reputation grew, not just for its results but for its commitment to people. Marcus never forgot that evening in the hallway, when a janitor's voice stopped him in his tracks. It was a reminder that leadership wasn't just about numbers or deals, it was about seeing the potential in everyone, no matter their title. For Amir, it was a chance to step into a life he had never dared to imagine. And for Pinnacle Solutions, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one where talent, not credentials, defined success. The office was never the same. Employees talked about Amir's story for years, not as a legend, but as a fact, a real, tangible example of what happened when someone took a chance on the unexpected. And in a world of polished resumes and predictable paths, that made all the difference.